first commandment that was given by God to Prophet Moses is simple. Obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. When you obey your parents and you serve them well, there will be longevity. So mommy did it that day. Once I was talking to my 10, 2, 10, 5. Not the commerce of mommy me buy me the above. To my man. Ladies and gentlemen, what you do for a pastor, if you cannot do it for your parents, you are a fool. Is it not wonderful that when your parents are calling you on the phone, but when you miss your pastor's phone call, you want to call back and say, that did me pass off from me. Now see that it looks like we celebrate our pastors than our parents. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is anybody to celebrate that will make you live long, it must be your parents, not your pastors. Some of the delinquents, we don't even know their parents. They are ashamed to bring out their parents because send your dress here with 3 pounds in the car or devil. You only mammy, hey, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. You can choose your location, number 1. You can choose your friends, number 2. You can choose the clothes you want to wear, number 3. You can even choose how you spend your money, but you cannot choose your parents. Why? Because in the plan of God, they were the people God had designed that they will bring you out. 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 8. How can you disrespect your mother and honor your pastor's wife? Ladies and gentlemen, we are not saying that don't respect your pastor's wife, but we are saying that if 2 of them are to stand here and you have to choose one to respect, it must be your mother. Anybody who cannot take care of his parents, even an unbeliever, is better than you. One shell, but you cannot use it as a means not to provide for your father. If you are telling me that how your parents treated you wasn't good, I'm sorry, God cannot treat you well. In our church today, yes, sorry, I'm not what I'm offering. Now they are coming at me. But even your parents, the whole week you don't remember the last time you gave them the money you gave to the church. Listen to me. If anybody cannot provide for his household, the father, the mother, the Bible says that even an unbeliever is better than you. Hello, Ama, Bibi Aboko, if you ain't money, so I know a throw before Charlie. Papa from Sisia Casasa, na maneme, and a maneme, sir. Also, a man in Basanda when you be to offering. And yet, no offering now the coin, and ye be pay but God cannot bless you. And the reason why in the church people are giving a lot, they cannot be blessed is because they are not following the principles of God. Yeah, oh show my man, papa. Now about church, no one to offer me. I can beat my chest and tell you God will bless you. But not to offering, no one show my man, papa. I tell you, heaven will not open doors because there is a curse monitoring you. Not taking shit and ayalumukasa. Ladies and gentlemen, the words of your parents carry authority than the words of your pastor. And you know when right from the days of Noah, from the day Noah cursed the son could not reverse it, and no prophet in the Bible could reverse the curse. Why? Because once a father on earth speaks, heaven must back it. Sometimes when I see a silicon or a beautiful young girl, I want to see the mother and the father. But because of the way they have advertised themselves, they want to hide their parents. Is it true? Hide them because offering po nanka anye bia waba akreya nyame adumi ma senya faniko dentist ni ahyehyɛ ne sie and na make catch say the number of teeth that will be removed once you replace them, God will add years to your life. You don't understand this. When you will see you come and and I'm village crown. Ladies and gentlemen, our parents don't need our money, they need our presence. Have time to teach your parents how to use today's technology. Tofu kama mamia, what's a phone? WhatsApp phone na WhatsApp phone na when the age what the phone say day, what the phone say day. Wo na me fa born in what. Now also the phone say day. Abrewa, sema, what if you know you go miemia so anakala yi sisa. Me ba no won cry no. One not to ma me baby o bi anyami sram. Hey, sister, na phone ya was me ba no won cry no. And your mom say we am penny for phone was me ba no. Sister, anything that is precious for you must be precious for your parents. Anything expensive that can be given to your pastor must be given to your mother and father. Hello, daddy. Nyamia ye bibia ma beda wase. O ma me sia pro. O papa sia pro. Atade a papa kura be hye. akwa ye ofrewa no adwa but what me atam 500 ko sow seed am asofo. I'm not saying you don't sow seed for pastors. I'm not saying you don't go and say thank you, but what I'm saying is that if there is anybody to be celebrated and honored, respected, it should be your parents, not your pastors. Provide the basic needs of your parents. Don't ever go to the table to dine, to eat, to enjoy when there is no food for your parents. It's a curse. Maintain frequent contacts. No matter what you have achieved today, if your mother killed you, you wouldn't have achieved it. Our family values must tell us that once they took care of you, you must pay them back. You reap what you sow in the life of your parents. If you take good care of your parents, your children will take good care of you. If you don't take good care of them, your children will not look at you at all. Whatever.
All right. Mother's love is peace. It need not be acquired. It need not be deserved. For a mother is the only person on earth who can divide her love amongst 10 children, and each child still have her love. And a mother is she who can take the place of all others, but whose place no one else can take. Let me take that one again. A mother is she who can take the place of all others, but whose place no one else can take. Good morning, welcome to the Breakfast Show. It's a beautiful, sweet Friday, and we have a very, very, very interesting program for you today. And come Sunday, 10th of May, is Mother's Day, and we're dedicating this morning's discussion to motherhood. And what exactly is the main discussion, the topic?
Good morning.
Morning.
To you.
How are you doing?
I am blessed and highly favored.
Yeah.
Of course, in the presence of our Reverend.
Of course.
Always looking immaculate. Interesting enough, we are here to celebrate women, and he's here, to show the affirmation that's coming from Reverend. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, boss.
I
was social distance, and I was asking.
Okay, so
what was keeping him fit and keeping him going?
That's a discussion we'll come to.
Right? Discussion. So what's the main topic? And we're expecting another guest, a lady to join us. So when she comes in, she joins the discussion. Yes.
All right. Now, speaking of women or mothers, for that matter, this morning we are going to spend quality time to celebrate our women for what they stand for and for everything they have done for us. Immediately, my mother comes to mind. And if I begin to talk about it, it's going to take the whole day. So we are using today to celebrate our women, the different aspects of women from the religious perspective, from career women, from single mothers, for those who were not able to biologically mother a child but have been mothers.
Stepmothers.
In other...
People don't love stepmothers at all. Stepmothers, but some are good.
Some are very
it's a dicey situation, but that is also part of the discussion that we're going to have this morning. So it's Mother's Day celebration right here on the set on Ghana Television, and you're highly welcome.
There's one question I want to ask Pastor. It's so like in my mind. When we get there, I will ask him.
Okay. But on occasion, yes.
How far does honor your mother and your father so that your days shall be long? How far does it go? Does it go even in the death of your parents? Yeah. We'll come to that. Right?
Let's take the opportunity to wish all mothers happy Mother's Day, beginning with the First Lady of the land and the Second Lady. Of course, we cannot forget your First Lady.
Oh, my wife. She's there.
I like the way you started with a smile, right? And of course, not forgetting my mother and the many other versatile, virtuous women we have right here at the broadcasting house. They are doing marvelously well. Some great women we have done.
Of course, all mothers out there. But I want to make mention of my next door neighbor, Mrs. Felicia Dagadu. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
If we're going to mention names, we
can get it all.
Okay, so, I remember a friend who has become a Sister Pamela Godwill. She is a chief super at the Immigration Service. She buried both parents in a private burial recently, and you should have seen the strength that she exuded to lead her other siblings to give their mother and father a befitting burial. So we are saying good morning to all our friends and to every woman out there who is helping a son or a daughter, even if they are not yours, but you are doing that. And I found a very favorite a quote that for me sums up my feeling about my mother. It says that God could not be everywhere physically, so he created mothers.
That is very true. Very true.
And so good morning, Mrs. Dokasteria.
Yeah.
God bless you for everything you have done.
Some of us lost our mother.
I was coming to it.
But
I was coming to
a lot of people have played mother roles in our lives.
In your life, yeah. Speaking about my mother, reminded me of you and the fact that recently too you had to bury Daddy. That made you a typical orphan. Sorry. Sorry, but I know you have
of course. I mean, God is our strength.
Meaning, there's some who lost their parents, mothers, very early in life, but they still have fresh memories of them. It shows
that tells you the connection,
exactly,
the love they were sharing between themselves.
Yes, there's a typical one like that. He's watching right now. We call him Power. He lost his mother very early, but if you hear him speak about the mother, you will be amazed. So good morning to you, Power, and the love you have for the memory of your mother. Continue to do so. How about those who are not on speaking terms with their mother?
Yeah.
On a day like this.
We'll talk about them.
We'll talk about them.
We would. I know I wanted to wish my sister a happy birthday. You always be like a mother, Diana Clark. Happy birthday. And again, there's a sweet young boy, handsome boy, my next door neighbor, Tyler. He can be troublesome, but Tyler, hey, happy birthday as well. Take care of yourself. And another good morning coming the way of Immaculate. She's my goddaughter. And when she found out that I'm on this platform, you can't imagine, the whole family has been down. So good morning, Immaculate, to you and your mother. We say God bless you. All right. Reverend Daniel Donkoh, who is going to help us with the discussion. We're also expecting another guest. When she comes in, she'll join the discussion as well. Reverend, now you're warmly welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
And the
God has
family?
been good to me. We are blessed.
Okay.
They are doing very well.
And the wife?
She's good. She's well.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's the mother of your house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can't deny the fact that she's been a good woman.
Okay.
That is the truth.
I like that.
She's been a blessing. Yes, you know, there are people who can be very hypocrite. I mean, they go to public to say, my wife is good, but then they are dying. Emotionally, they are dying mentally, and they are not happy in their homes. For me, I am blessed.
Okay. Now, let's touch motherhood. Let's get to the roots of motherhood when it comes to the Bible.
Okay.
Would you term Eve as a mother with a lot of branches?
Yes. The truth is that in the wisdom of God created the man, and then the Bible says that God saw that it wasn't good for the man to be alone. So the fact that even God would decide that the man shouldn't live alone, there should be a woman, it tells you that women are important.
Okay.
Right? And then the Bible says that God caused the man to sleep, and then when he awake, he realized that there was somebody, beside him, and the man looked and said, "This is bone of my bone. This is a woman. This is somebody God has given to me."
Why did the man say that? Why would man call woman bone of my bones a woman?
Man, woman. The word "woo" means a helper, somebody created like me. Somebody who has come to help me. Now you must understand that one of the names of the Holy Spirit is a helper. A helper. So when the Bible says women are helpers to men, it tells you who women are.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's so deep.
Yeah. So it tells you that women are complicated. You can't understand women because you cannot understand the ways of the Holy Spirit. And that is why the Bible says in the book of Peter, the Bible says that even when you treat a woman bad, your prayer can be hindered. Then it tells you, this one, when I was driving here, I said to myself, why should God say that when you treat a woman bad, your prayer can be hindered? God should have said, when women treat their husbands bad, I will not listen to their prayer. But God rather decided, or Peter decided to write it in a form. He said, when you treat a woman bad, your prayer will not be heard by God. So who are women? Who are they? It tells you how special they are. That God connects himself, and that is why the Bible says that God is the husband of the church. In other words, the church is a woman. Women should not be taken for granted, not at all. And even God, when he wanted to manifest himself as a man, he came through the womb of a woman. So it tells you that God is a wonderful God, and women are not to be played with.
A woman was used as a vessel.
A woman.
Thank you. And check through the ministry of Jesus Christ. All those who sponsored Jesus, his ministry, for him to do well, were women. That tells you who women are. And that's why most of the time women are more than men in our churches.
Yeah.
Women can really help you to build good ministry, and they say women by the grace of God.
In one of your preaching, I think the one we just saw,
honoring your parents.
Yes, you liken the fact that if you're a guy and you're honoring maybe your pastor's wife, and your wife at home, you're neglecting her, you're not there for that wife, what you're doing is baseless.
Yeah.
You keep on preaching about things like that.
Yeah.
How weighty is a wife and the mother when it comes to those situations where you need to honor them at home than do stuff outside?
You know, I love it when Timothy said, a man who cannot take care of his family is not fit to be a pastor. Especially if you're a man of God and you cannot take care of your wife or your home well, you are not fit to be preaching the gospel. Because if you cannot take care of one woman, probably with 3 kids or 3 children, and you can preach to hundreds of people, then you are fake. So it tells you that God wants us to honor our wives, our parents, our mothers especially. Now let me come down and say this. How can you go to church to pay your tithes when you are not feeding your family? God will not bless you. The Bible says that whoever cannot take care of his house, even an unbeliever, is better than him.
It's a strong word.
Yes. How can you go to church and give an offering when your rent is over, you are not paying your children's school fees, you are not taking care of your wife, the woman God has entrusted into your hands, yet you sing praise and worship? You are fooling yourself. We must understand that Christianity is more practical than just talk. We are living in a generation of talk. I am a Christian, yet we are not living to that expectation. You cannot be a man who is not celebrating your wife or your mother, and then you go to church to speak in tongues. It doesn't happen like that, because Christianity is more practical than just saying I am. You become because you are. You are not because you don't do it. So once you are not practically practicing the word, acting upon it, you are not a Christian. You are just a church goer. So what we are saying is that don't go to church to profess Christ when in the house you are maltreating your wife, or you are treating your wife or your mother bad.
Right. Now, because of who you are, representing, Christ in this discussion, because you are a reverend.
Yes, please.
Help us to understand, in the divine orchestration of things, what is your understanding of the role of a mother from the perspective of scriptures?
Like I said earlier on, God in his wisdom decided to create Adam, not Eve. And then God sat at a point and realized that, hey, it is not good for the man to be alone. So the fact that God will even say it is not good for a man to be alone tells you how important women are. Therefore, women must be celebrated well.
But what is their role for which they must be celebrated?
Let me say this. The Bible says that women are helpers. I'm coming. Now, when we say somebody is a helper, it doesn't mean she came or he came to do all. It means that what you cannot do, she is there to support, to help, to make sure you accomplish that vision or dream. So the role of a woman in the life of a man is to make sure that the man becomes who he's destined to be by God. And therefore I will say that any man who cannot fulfill his vision, check the wife. And that is why it is said that most of the men who are great in society couldn't make it without a good wife. It means that when you have a bad wife, opposite. When you have a good wife, opposite. When you see great men, check their wives. If your wife decides to torment you, go nowhere. So the role of a woman is to make sure that she stands by the man until the man becomes who he's destined to be.
Okay.
And that is why in terms of choosing a life partner, every man must be careful who you choose. Because if you choose wrong, you can't fulfill destiny. If you choose right, you fulfill destiny.
All right. Now you have elucidated a lot on wife. But in this instance, we are talking about mothers. All right?
A wife is a mother.
Yes, but not all mothers are wives.
Then she is
there are women who, through no fault of theirs, are single mothers. And they are playing the role of mothers as it's supposed to be.
Okay.
So I think that beyond being a wife, because there are wives who are not biologically mothers. But there are wives who are not biologically mothers.
There is something we need to understand here.
Right.
I am a wife. for one way or other, I cannot conceive or something, and then I am able to take care of few people.
Fantastic.
You are a mother.
That's the point I want us to establish.
Yeah, you are a mother.
Fantastic.
You shouldn't kill yourself because yourself you've not been able to give birth, and you are a mother. Once you are able to take care of somebody's son or daughter, you are a mother.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you have just affirmed that being a wife is not only about helping your husband, but also being a mother to another child that you did not biologically.
Yes, even helping your society as a woman makes you to be identified as a woman.
Great.
You understand? So calling a woman has nothing to do with how many children you have.
Okay.
Whether you have 10 children or 1 or none, you are still a woman.
Okay.
I mean, there are even women who don't marry. I mean, they just don't marry. There are people like that. Okay, that person helping other people will be termed as a mother.
Yes. Yeah, so we shouldn't limit motherhood to someone with a lot of children. Then it's going to be something else. The truth is that every woman born, every woman created in the image, in the likeness of God, is a potential mother.
Reverend Daniel, in the Bible, let's take the mother of Esau and Jacob. Now, what she did by switching the blessing for Jacob. Were there instances in the Bible where God was angry at the woman? For example, what she did. Was orchestrated by God, someone would say. But before the eyes of men, that was a very interesting switch.
Yeah. Trust me, it was orchestrated like you said.
Sorry again, but then we'll take a little break here once again, and we'll be right back.
That was given by God to Prophet Moses. Simple. Obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. When you obey your parents and you serve them well, there will be longevity. So mommy did the birthday. When say what turn to my 10, 2, 10, 5. Not the commerce of mommy me buy me the above. Crown turn to mama. Ladies and gentlemen, what you do for a pastor, if you cannot do it for your parents, you are a fool. Is it not wonderful that when your parents are calling you on the phone, who should you see over but when you miss your pastor's phone call, you want to call back and say that did me partial friend me. Now see that it looks like we celebrate our pastors than our parents. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is anybody to celebrate that will make you live long, it must be your parents, not your pastors. Some of the delinquents, we don't even know their parents. They are ashamed to bring out their parents because send your dress here will keep on the car with them. You only mammy say, hey, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. You can choose your location, number 1. You can choose your friends, number 2. You can choose the clothes you want to wear, number 3. You can even choose how you spend your money, but you cannot choose your parents. Why? Because in the plan of God, they were the people God had designed that they will bring you out. 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 8. How can you disrespect your mother and honor your pastor's wife? Ladies and gentlemen, we are not saying.
Now that's Reverend Daniel Donkoh again. There's a point you made in there before you come to the question I asked for the break. Now you were saying that you can choose your mother, you can choose what you wear, you can choose the kind of job you want to do, you can choose. You have your choices, but you can't choose your mother.
Yeah, you can't choose your mother because they were the ones God had ordained for you. You understand? Most of the time, most of us we complain to God. I don't know if I'm here. Rather than I'm free, can be free. But you see, in the wisdom of God,
you
know, come papa, some man go worry we are. Can you have a baby? You understand?
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't understand the ways and the move of God. His ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. And so somebody must understand that the mother you have today is the God of your life.
I like that.
The mother you have today is the God of your life. And that is why mothers have the power. You see, apart from God, the next people that carries God's kind of authority are parents. That you should not play with your parents, especially your mother. You know, I see some pastors calling mothers witches, you know, and then I see people criticizing their mothers and insulting them, and I go like, you're already cursed.
Yeah.
Somebody who has nurtured you, somebody who has taken care of, loved you, fed you, sacrificed for you. You don't play with such a woman. Yeah. You don't dare, because she becomes the God of your life.
But we don't hear a lot of messages from the pulpit talking about mothers like you do.
Yeah.
Okay, why is it not happening? Because if we want to go into biblical terms, motherhood is God-given, and the pulpit is not preaching this. Why?
I think that we are not some men of God.
Yes, some men of God.
Some men of God.
Yes.
Probably some of them are doing it,
yes,
but we
some
are
men of God.
Seeing it. So some men of God are not preaching this, because the truth is this. You know, there are some messages when you preach to the church, the army will not come. You know, for example, when you are preaching a message like love your mother than your pastor's wife, who is going to say I'm into this? I mean, a brother called me from one church. I cannot mention the name of the church, and said, Pastor, me do video now to your church page concerning parents. Me they told on me suffer, I block me. And what friend me attend me warning say, me share my first message, you know, and to your church page, you know, because I was saying that you need to celebrate your mother than your pastor's wife.
That's it.
If you can give your pastor's wife a gift that will cost you, that gift must be given to your mother first.
Sure.
Not because the first mentor you have, the first leader, the first mother you have is your mother, not your pastor's wife. I mean, you can even choose the church you want to attend, but you can't choose your mother.
Sure.
She's the one God ordained for you. And so the pastor told the guy, me pesa, because and your mother bomb and I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So most of the time, some messages are not preached on from the pulpit, because we think that when we preach such messages, people are going to be wise up and are going to be wise. But hey, the truth must be preached.
Sure.
And that is why Jesus called us. Once you can't preach the truth, I don't want to go there, but there is a question mark on you.
Why is it that people, I don't know whether it's the church, whether it's the clergy, whether it's media, how can we drum in the fact that, like you're saying, mothers are from God? People would fight and argue with the mothers. Some people, as we're talking right now, are not talking to the mothers. They don't even call to find out. It is not happening. They don't call people who have even nurtured them, being there for them as mothers. What would you speak to that? What would you tell people who are doing that? Today is 8th May, and 2 days away is Mother's Day. We need to touch on these things.
Let me say this. There is no excuse not to talk to your mother. There is no excuse. Do you know the pain your mother had to go through? 9 months? Delivery? Taking care of, some of us, the fathers, we don't have time for, the family. All we are looking for is money. It looks like everything is our mothers. It has to do with mother. Taking your bath, mother. Feeding you, mother. Going to school, mother. The pain they go through.
Yeah.
Even when you want to go to bed, you go to the bedroom and you go see a father off. And then you see most of our mothers were watchmen. This one I would say watchwomen. They had to sleepless night only to make sure we are having a sound sleep. And such a person you take for granted. Even when you date a young lady, after sex and abortions and you disappointed and she cares you, it will affect you. How much more a mother who had sacrificed, she has gone through pain, the care. No, please don't try that. Even if your pastor tells you your mother is a witch, curse the pastor.
Yeah. I mean, go for this deliverance.
Stop going to that.
These things are happening.
I'm sorry to sit on this to say. Stop going to that church. You don't need it. When a pastor can look into us and tell your mother, you are still alive. When witches and wizards are eating the flesh of people, you are still alive, and your pastor is telling you, and you have the guts to go to a church for to only kill your mother. You are a fool.
Should we see certain character traits in the biblical times of women and nowadays women?
I mean, a virtuous woman is a hard-working woman. I mean, there are good women, trust me. Some of us, our mothers had to do the things our fathers were supposed to do. You understand? And so in biblical context, I mean, somebody like Hannah had to sacrifice to be able to have Samuel and Naomi, the mother of John the Baptist. Esther. I mean, these women were strong women. They did good things. That is why Solomon in Proverbs chapter 31 started writing about the qualities of a woman. He said, one of the qualities I love is a hardworking woman. A woman who goes to bed sleeplessly. I mean, she doesn't sleep all night, just thinking of what to do the next morning. And so for me, looking at some some of our women today, they still represent the kind of women we had in the days of, the Bible, or the days of, so for me, I think there are still good women who are like the Hannahs, the Esthers, and the Marys, and then, so that is it.
Where lies in the hard work of a woman? And we hear things like, for a house to stand, you need to have a praying wife. Where lies in hard work and prayers?
You must be able to put the two together. A good wife is a prayerful woman. What keeps the house, and who keeps the house? The woman. Trust me, not the man. And so what we are saying is that you can be a hardworking woman. Now let's define the hardworking aspect. People think that when we say she's a hardworking woman, she goes out, come with money, taking care of children, and you better say, brother, if my wife leave my kids, sometimes I feel like I was having a chain to on mine. Now we need boodrium, so that I can have my kids.
And wait for the mother to come back.
Of course, yes. I've gone to Facebook to see few things from men. Not the home, because we are too troublesome. But our women, our mothers can accommodate all this, trauma, this, so it tells you that women don't try. The heart of a woman, men, we don't have it at all. What women can keep in their heart, the pain, the bitterness, they go through, the forgiveness, men, we don't have it. Our wives should be celebrated, because taking care of children is a work on its own. That if your wife is not even working, that is hard working. If we are to leave 2 kids for you, the man, 2 days, we will come back, we will come and see a dead body. You can't survive.
No, Reverend, there's this saying, it is so deep, that the tear of the woman, if it falls on the ground, is so deep. Then whoever makes a woman cry and that tear falls on the ground is something else. You go to work in a working environment where there's some boss who is harassing some girl. He does it, and to the extent where this girl can even be stabbed because she's not doing what the boss wants. Such a situation, where there's pain, where there's cry, where there's tear, how do these things affect men and people who do that to that woman?
Let me say this: a lot of men are under curses because of how they have maltreated some women, right from courtship level. Young men, and most of us, when we are dating, we take things for granted. Listen to this: a woman will not give you sex because she needs sex. Women give sex because of love. So whenever a woman opens up for sex, and you, the man, you enjoy the woman, and you dump her, it's already a curse. Even if she doesn't cry, she doesn't pray, the pain and the bitterness will follow you, the man. And that is why men must understand that you don't have to take any woman for granted. Don't ever in your life think you are smart, that after sex you can just drop her, dump her somewhere, go for another one. The pain, I quite remember I dated a lady myself, and then I decided at a point not to continue the relationship, because I felt like there is something about her I didn't like. So at the same time myself, I sat down, I said, hey Charlie, no, I realized the pain, the bitterness. I said, no, she's not cheap. She allowed me to do stuff with her, not because she's crazy, but because, so at the end I had to go to her house to beg her to forgive me. You know why I did that?
You did?
I did. I had to kneel down, beg with my hands here, beg, cry some more. I wasn't faking, genuinely from my heart. I had to say, hey, Charlie Bacho, Facha me, what do me you feel so? Because you see, once she doesn't even talk, heaven will respond to the bitterness of her heart.
Now let's go to heaven. Let's go to the heaven room. Yeah, let's talk heaven.
Okay.
Now I asked a question about Rebecca.
Have you been there before?
Not yet.
Okay, all right.
I asked you a question about Jacob and Esau.
Yeah.
What Rebecca did.
Yeah.
Okay. God smiled on that. Because eventually Jacob had the blessing. Why would God do a thing like that? Why would Rebecca even do a thing like that?
God is a mysterious God, and there are some things you will never understand about God. For example, when people want to talk about the Trinity, you can't define the Trinity. Don't start it, because it is so spiritual. You understand? God is in his own wisdom decided to orchestrate that, to tell us that leadership matters. That if you are a man and you are given responsibilities and you don't fulfill it well, God can give that position to somebody else. It was a lesson that the elder brother decided to waste time. And then the woman said, you can go do it faster. It tells you that what God entrusts into your hands, if care is not taken, God can shift it to somebody. Nevertheless, at the end of the day, apart from the lesson, they came together as brothers, and then things were, happening for them. So for me, God has a purpose for, and God decided not to punish the woman, because like I said earlier on, the attitude and the character of women. If you are not a spiritual person, if you don't descend spiritually, you can never predict a woman.
Sure.
Yes.
Now let's take a case study of a typical home,
right,
where we keep on saying that the man is the head of the house and blah 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 and all that. But there are times where the man in the house is not responsible. He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing as the man of the house.
Yeah.
And then you see that there's a woman, the wife of that house, or there's a mother in the house who's taking charge of everything. She's working, she goes and she comes. And in such situations, where lies on the man is the head of the house? Is it the woman now?
One of the things I really want to tell men today is this: it is an error for a man not to provide for the family.
An error.
I'm telling you.
Why the word error?
Because you see, right from creation, men were created first, and God said to man, take charge, cultivate the garden, take control over the affairs of the garden. So it tells you that God wants men to be responsible. A man who is not responsible is a man who is not a man, he's a boy. Once you are growing to a certain point, of age, you need to be responsible.
Sure.
Now, you cannot be a husband who cannot provide for your family. You are not a husband. Then you are a wife. It is not the duty of a wife to provide for the family. Trust me, biblically, it is the duty of a man to provide for the family. Nevertheless, we provide, and the women are responsible to take care of the provision. And that is why most of the time you meet a small, your daughter, you go like, who bought you the sheep? Say, mommy. Normally they don't refer to the father, not because the fathers are not doing well. It is because for her, for that little child or daughter, so that it is mommy who bought it for me. So what we are trying to say is that fathers are to be taking care of the house, not the mothers. And so if a mother is somehow supporting, it's good, but don't leave what men are to do in the house in the hands of a woman.
In situations where a woman earns more than the man,
it doesn't matter.
It still doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. A man must be a man. A man who is not a man, please, I beg you, try to be a man.
Okay. Now, Reverend, in as much as looking at motherhood, the positives and the good sides of mothers, there are certain mothers. And look, we're naturally inborn with things. We have attitudes. We have certain character traits where you don't even know where they're coming from. Some women, excuse me to say, are very bad. Some women have certain characters that you don't even understand where this is coming from. Let's talk on that issue. Let's talk on not the negatives, but the other side of the coin of women. There are people like that. It's so difficult for certain men. It's so difficult that, and you ask yourself why? Why do we see this kind of things happening?
Some women are really problematic, so much that I think some men are not even doing well because of their wives. Trust me. I mean, they give you pressure in the house, they insult you, abuse you as a man, and you feel like, then I'm what the for me, when it comes to character traits or attitude, our community matters, and where we grew matters to me, and the people we associated with or we have around us matters to me. So what I'll say is that if you really want to be a good wife, you need to check your character. You cannot be called a mother, and yet because you see, your children are going to learn from you. You are their first example, a mother. And so if your character is bad, then it tells us the kind of children you're going to raise. So what I would say to every woman watching me is this: your children are listening, they are watching, they are learning from you. Recently, my wife was playing with our little girl, 1 year, 5 months. And then I don't know what happened. According to my wife, she made a phone call. 1 year, 5 months. So my wife made a phone call to a friend. And then my wife was talking, I'm sorry, on GT. My wife said, oh, the way Jimmy, to the person she was talking to. And then my daughter repeated, where Jimmy? So when she called me, said, hey, me catch you, say where Jimmy. Then I said to my wife, be very careful what you say in front of her. Sure. Why? Because she's like a computer. She's speaking every little language that drops out of your mouth. So if your character and your attitude is bad as a woman, then what kind of children are we going to have in our society? So what we're going to say is that please work on yourself. Be a good woman because your children are looking up to you.
Now, Reverend, I'm not going to mention the name. I'm not going to mention the name of the bank. I went to this bank. I had finished my transactions and I was about leaving. I was talking to someone. And then one of the customer service girls, a guy walks in and the guy was asking how to go about, when they go, he goes and he punches the withdrawal or things like that. And she was telling the guy what to do. But apparently the guy didn't hear too well. So the guy goes and comes back. It happened like 4 or 5 times. And this girl, losing her patience, started shouting at the guy. And I went to the girl, I was like, you don't treat people like that. She looked at me, things like that. And I wanted to look for the branch manager. But I just said a little word, and I went to the guy and did the thing for the guy, and I left. Such a woman, such a girl. What would you say?
She needs to work on her patience, her heart, her
it was so bad.
See, the problem with us is this. I think I've said it here before. If you are praying for marriage, work on your emotions. No man want to entertain the chimpanzee in his house. Nobody want to. You see, listen. The Bible says that whoever finds a wife
finds a good thing.
Find a good thing.
Yeah.
In other words, you need to be a wife before you are married. Whoever finds a wife. So you need to become a wife material before you are married to. So if you don't build yourself emotionally, you don't work on yourself, that emotional immaturity, it kills the patience of a man.
Sure.
No matter the position where God places you as a woman, you need to learn how to respect men, especially your husband or any man around you. Don't underestimate and don't ever abuse a man because of your position. And I think a lot of women do that. A lot of women do that. When God blesses them and they are better than their husbands, you see them shouting, you see them abusing them, saying things they shouldn't say. Don't ever do that. The same God who lifted you has the ability to demote you.
Now, this is word that comes to play when it comes to some women. The word jealousy. Jealousy in women are so high. Would you say so? Or is very high?
It depends on the attitude of the man. When you see a woman very jealous, check the character of the man. Now it is good to have kind of jealousy. It's a sign of protection, a sign of security around your husband. That hey, I don't want anybody to have you. I appreciate you, I love you, and I want you for myself. Nevertheless, when the jealousy goes to a certain point level, it tells you that the woman doesn't really sometimes trust the man.
Okay.
So like maybe a mempe, and it must be checked. And so the jealousy of a woman is good for a man. It's a sign of protection. I wouldn't want you to mess up out there. Go come back home safe. But then when it becomes too much, then it tells you there is a problem with the man.
Okay. We'll be wrapping up in a little while with this first part of this discussion. So I just want to ask one last question. You give us a word and I'll let it go. Now, still on the Bible, I wanted to look at the issue of David, Bathsheba, and all that. Now, she was somebody's wife, okay? But here's David who lured and blah, 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 blah. For what she did, would God have punished her?
Punished who?
Bathsheba. Although David was,
David was,
he was
I kept quiet for some time.
Yes.
I wanted to speak wisdom. You see.
Yeah.
The Bible says that the woman was taking her bath.
Yes.
And then David decided to send one of his servants. He said, Charlie, baby, she looks beautiful, fair. Charlie, and then when the woman came, David slept. Number one, when the woman was coming, she never knew David would do that. I will say this: in the Old Testament, kings were powerful.
Yeah.
When they issue command, it must be respected. It must be done according to their words. So you see why God punished David. Somebody's wife. You must understand that David already had wives. David didn't have one wife.
Yeah.
He had wives, and you were still not content. You were not okay, and you still decided to go for somebody's wife. Then it tells you that God didn't like what David did, not the woman.
Okay,
you understand? Right. So God did not do anything to the woman, but remember that at the end of the day, they had a child out of it, and then God decided to kill the son or the child. Okay. And so it tells you that God wouldn't do anything to a woman who has done nothing, but the man who caused the something can be punished.
All right, Rev, I'll be leaving you very soon. So on this note, just give us It's Sunday, Mother's Day. What do you want to say? What message do you have for mothers?
The message I have is very simple. Let's respect our mothers and not take them for granted. If you have a mother, please look for a gift. Go give to your mother. Have time for your mother. Celebrate the Mother's Day with your mother. And trust me, once she lay hands on you and pray for you, you will never be the same, because mothers are powerful. Bless you.
Alright, so bless you. That's Reverend Daniel Donkoh. He's still going to be around. And I'm just ending with this that says that mother is the only one who cries you 9 months in the belly, 3 years in her arms, and forever in her heart. Mother is the only one who cries you in 9 months in her belly, 3 years in her arms, and forever in her heart. Alright, stay on. There's still some more to come.
That was given by God to Prophet Moses. Simple. Obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. When you when you obey your parents and you serve them well, there will be longevity. So mommy did the birthday. When say what come to my 10, 2, 10, 5. Not the commerce of mommy me buy me the blow. Crown to mama. Ladies and gentlemen, what you do for a pastor, if you cannot do it for your parents, you are a fool. Is it not wonderful that when your parents are calling you on the phone, but when you miss your pastor's phone call, you want to call back and say, that did me pastor friend me. Now see that it looks like we celebrate our pastors than our parents. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is anybody to celebrate that will make you live long, it must be your parents, not your pastors. Some of the Silequins, we don't even know their parents. They are ashamed to bring out their parents, because send your dress here will trip on the car or devil. You only mammy one. Hey! Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. You can choose your location, number 1. You can choose your friends, number 2. You can choose the clothes you want to wear, number 3. You can even choose how you spend your money, but you cannot choose your parents. Why? Because in the plan of God, they were the people God had designed that they will bring you out. 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 8. How can you disrespect your mother and honor your pastor's wife? Ladies and gentlemen, we are not saying that don't respect your pastor's wife, but we are saying that if 2 of them are to stand here and you are to choose one to respect, it must be your mother. Anybody who cannot take care of his parents, even an unbeliever, is better than you. One shell, but you cannot use it as a means not to provide for your father. If you are telling me that how your parents treated you wasn't good, I'm sorry, God cannot treat you well. In our church today, yes, sorry, I don't know what I'm offering. Now they are coming at me. But even your parents, the whole week, you don't remember the last time you gave them the money you gave to the church. Listen to me. If anybody cannot provide for his household, the father, the mother, the Bible says that even an unbeliever is better than you. Hello, Anna, Bibiaboko, if you ain't money, so I know a throw before Charlie. Papa from Sisia Casasa, and a man, and a man, Missa. Also, a man in Basandi when you be to offering. And yet, no offering now the coin, and ye but God cannot bless you. And the reason why in the church people are giving a lot, they cannot be blessed, is because they are not following the principles of God. Yeah, oh, show my man, papa. Now, by church, no one to offer me. I can beat my chest and tell you God will bless you. But don't you offering? No one show my man, papa. I tell you, heaven will not open doors because there is a curse monitoring you. Not taking shit and numukasa. Ladies and gentlemen, the words of your parents carry authority than the words of your pastor. And you know, right from the days of Noah, from the day Noah cursed the sun could not reverse it, and no prophet in the Bible could reverse the curse. Why? Because once a father on earth speaks, heaven must back it. Sometimes when I see a Silequin or a beautiful young girl, I want to see the mother and the father.